my name is Heather Cunningham. I am 19 years old at this moment. I come from a really awesome Christian home, like really loving, I'm super blessed. Now my family lives in Surf City and I go to school at UNCW during the school year. School was really perfect growing up. I went to this little elementary school in my small town. It was just really simple and easy. I loved playing soccer growing up, and it was a huge part of my childhood, and honestly probably the best part. And so once I hit about 6th or 7th grade, I just remember being in games, I'd be in the middle of a soccer game and I just didn't want to be there. And I didn't know why. I just told my parents I just don't want to be there anymore. And I also had an interest for music, so I kind of had this idea that I would take a pause on soccer and then just pursue music for a little bit. So I did quit mid-season in 7th grade, so middle school. My elementary school, middle school experience were very positive, and then my high school experience was insanely negative. So I didn't really have an outlet. I played some music, but I didn't play soccer, or I couldn't really find a club that I really fit in. So I just kind of was drifting, but internally, I really began to struggle with really deep sadness, to the point where I would just sob for no reason. I would cry myself to sleep. I would have these massive attacks of stress, but I didn't even know what anxiety was. So I would just be man, I'm stressed, or I'm sad, because I didn't know what anxiety and depression were at the time. And I didn't even know till I was probably 15 or 16 that I had depression and anxiety. Even I remember my birthday, my brother said one comment to me and I just broke down sobbing, and I said, I've had a horrible couple of years, I can't take anything more. I just continually had these thoughts about cutting myself. I could not stop thinking about harming my arms, and I expressed it to my mom, and I was Mom, I don't even want this, but I can't stop thinking about it. And then it was just a lot of watching my family fall to pieces while I had to kind of sit on the back burner and just hold on tight by myself. And I think that kind of self-reliance just made me into a person who, it just reinforced that I had to fix myself, and that God wasn't going to heal me. My family didn't have the capacity to heal me. These doctors couldn't heal me. So it just reinforced this terrible fake strength of just fixing myself and feeling I was a screw up and a problem and a failure all at once. When I started to really struggle in my underclassmen years of high school, it just completely shattered my spirituality. It shattered it. I just could not calculate in my head that a loving God would let my family life fall apart, would let my depression get super deep, would let my panic attacks take over my life. I don't know. I was a Christian. I can't say I wasn't a Christian, but I just felt completely cut off. Almost if God's supposed to be your friend, I was cut off. No way was that something I got to experience, because I just came to a new conclusion. My brain was working so hard to try to figure out how a loving God could let me suffer so deeply. And so the different conclusions I would come to throughout my junior year, because I was 3 years into deep suffering, was this is all your fault. God's mad at you. God doesn't care about you. You're bringing this on yourself. He's ashamed of you. You're a screw up. Biggest thing that has changed for me in sophomore year that was different freshman year is I was invited by a professor and a couple friends to go to this club on campus called Ratio Christi. They kept inviting me to churches and hugging me and loving me and asking me how I was doing, and no one seemed ashamed of what I was going through. But now that I know that God's love for me is not contingent on me living a good life, having stable emotions, not suffering, I feel I'm actually growing in my faith for the first time since I was since the first time in a long time. I'm growing in my faith because I'm starting with the truth. I think when you have the Holy Spirit in you, you have this like really deep hope that you don't even always want to have. Like some days you're like, I just want to give up. But I think the way the Holy Spirit moved in me, it was such a deep hope that I couldn't give up even if I wanted to. The way I've kept my eternal optimism despite going through horrible suffering for years and years throughout high school is because my personality is much different than the way my chemicals act in my brain. I remember like sometimes being like, Heather, why have you not taken your own life? Like, you are miserable beyond miserable. And I think I just had this deep hope within me regardless of whatever I do. So I could suffer in the worst way possible, but I think I always try to find the light and the glimmer and the beauty regardless of how dark the night gets. So being an eternal optimist is just a part of my personality, even though I go through deep sadness because my brain chemicals suck. My happiness is not contingent on having good circumstances, because I think my happiness now is beginning to be, because I'm not perfect at this, is just in the fact that God loved me, created me, designed me, died for me, rescued and redeemed me, and I didn't deserve it at all. And I just want to express to like, this is almost like a note for my younger self, is like, healing is such a process, and because you finally find joy again and peace again in life again, your value as a person didn't get better. It's been the same the whole time. You've just found healing through people and community and the gospel and all sorts of things. But you weren't a horrible person and now you become an amazing person because you're healed. You were always the same value of a person. You just kind of learned to better navigate the process.
I don't wanna be lost at sea, but I will, 'cause I know you're still with me. Don't wanna lie in the dark. That's when I look up and see the stars. Your hope is holding me in despair and raging seas. When twisters grip my heart, you hold